How do educators discern what's really going on with the pushback from young people and AI? AI powered education is next. Casey and I wanted to dig deeper into the conversation we started earlier about how our learners, both in the college setting and the high school setting, are really starting to push back on, I mean, some are certainly grabbing a hold of AI and pushing forward, but there is a large group now that are really pushing back and questioning AI and not wanting to participate with it and really bashing it. And we certainly have heard that in colleges at college graduations where a tech person gets up and starts talking about AI that doesn't have any kind of like maybe moral compass or ethical belief in the good of all humans and creativity, and they have been booed, right? So
Yep.
we're certainly seeing that in the public, but you and I are both experiencing it with people we know. Young people are learners for sure.
Yeah.
So Casey, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? And we've got a little bit of research we can share with that too. And so not so much about like here's a tool and what should we do with it. It's like we've done that.
Right. We're back to having the conversations that we had originally, but shifting that focus. I feel like we are moving away from the fear of the unknown and now into still a level of fear, but to me, it's more of a distrust. So they're not scared of what is going to happen, but they are worried. They're worried about the impact that it might have on their careers, their jobs. They're worried about the impact it will have on their creativity or on our society's value of creative works. Privacy concerns, which I think is really incredibly important considering we've been trying to teach younger people to be more concerned about privacy. We've wanted them to not publish so much information about themselves online, to not give freely all of their data to the world to then be able to use against them. And so love that they're questioning it and that they're doubting those sort of things. But the bigger, I think, impact that they haven't really we haven't really discussed or we haven't really brought into our classroom before is the environmental impact of the data centers that are necessary. And I'm going to do those quotes because I don't
Right.
know that they're all necessary, but
Right.
that are becoming more and more prevalent in communities and therefore causing more panic in individuals who are trying to um, survive, I guess, in these small towns or rural communities. And then just obviously the future of human understanding, learning, all of that is a big part of the worry, the
No,
concern.
those are all, I mean, all of those from the environment to the creative, like all of that are concerns. And yet there's a counter argument and probably many little layers and fissures of that that we should pull out.
Mhm.
We can take each one at a time, but I know that there's some, they did a study that had like, it's not that many, but they still did like 1,500 college, high school students, and they tried to discern which like why this pushback or whatever, and they found that there's a direct correlation of those who do not want to use, like don't use AI, are more fearful of it. The direct correlation is that they bash it more.
Right. And here, yeah, that's the thing. The younger generations are simultaneously using
Mhm.
AI at the highest level
Mhm.
and distrusting it at the same level, right? So they're the users, but they also don't trust it at all.
Mhm.
And so it's not hypocrisy
No.
because it's not necessarily that these young people are saying, one thing and doing another. They don't lack integrity here, but what they are doing is shifting uh, the ways that they engage with it, and then the companies that they also promote or the way that they use it. They're trying very hard to find avenues to use AI in a way that they think is ethical, moral, and sound. But this is where we come in as educators,
Mhm.
is how. helping them navigate that conversation, and I'm going to come back to one of my worries and my concerns is that my own interest in it as an educator and my researching it and trying to incorporate it somehow in my own teaching, my classroom for my students, all of that, that students doubt my abilities and or expertise and somehow think that I am a part of this larger scheme to take away jobs, creativity, environmental impacts, and yet I've been a proponent of the human in the loop the entire time. And
Right.
so I want to ensure that I'm creating space in my classroom to help students navigate those big questions. It's
Mhm.
not about embracing AI or resisting it. Like, that's not the
Right.
question, good or bad, should or
Mhm.
shouldn't. It's more about, do you understand it?
Mhm.
Like
Right.
as a user,
Yeah.
as a human in our world, do you get it? Do you like
Right.
really understand how it works, how it impacts the world, not just through hearsay and conversations and anecdotal evidence, but truly? Like,
Mhm.
let's break it down. And I think the only way we're going to get there is if we focus so much more on inquiry than we do on telling them. It's
Absolutely. And
not
that's
right.
it.
It's not about me telling you what to think of it. And
It,
instead, let us come to a conclusion together, just like we do in any other subject in our classroom.
I know that when I take a look out there, it seems to be the push is more about talking about AI as media literacy, like it's just encompassing like colleges and school systems that are really trying to help learners know how to maneuver through it and evaluate it and what's the best place for it in their lives and in their in their work and their classroom and all of that kind of thing. Is that it's more of a literacy, it's media, it's not just separate by itself, it does all encompass all of it, it really does in
Mhm.
many respects. So really taking a look, but really again evaluate, it's like critical thinking all along. We've always
Right.
said to stop when we first started with, we everybody had like their one-to-one iPads and we're jumping on the learning management systems. It's always back to like, are you critically thinking? Are
Right.
you really being creators?
Right.
Consumers.
Or
What you just said is the same thing. Are we being just consumers, or we are creating and not just creating anymore? Because now the creation part's gotten simple, right?
right.
Respects. But now are we would like stepping back and really synthesizing and evaluating, is this harmful? Is this good?
Right. And which parts need to remain human? We have to remind them of their value as learners.
Mhm.
We have to be able to tell them that they have these wonderful skills. And although tools exist that can complete certain skills, does not diminish their value as a human in completing said skill.
If you
And
listen to, yeah, if
yeah,
you listen to researchers that are talking AI that are really caring about the human condition, it is all exactly what you said. If it is like the human thinking about where you're at in this process, how can you use it? How is it going to best benefit you? How are
yeah,
you not taken down the wrong path? Simon Sinek said that, and he says he doesn't make predictions, but he made like one big prediction. And he said, if we don't have moral, value, ethical AI use, and he wants AI use, but if we don't have that, he thinks that we'll have the greatest mental health crisis we've ever had, because we have to have that human
yep,
connection. We have to feel valued. We have to believe that AI is assisting us the way we want it to assist us. But if we don't, as a society, we will have, you lose the human connection. And that's what young people are pushing back on too.
right, right. And I mean, it's that trust, it's that fear of losing humanity. I think if we can prepare students with an overview, and provide them with an unbiased, balanced perspective on the topic of AI, Forbes recently published a kind of a collection of where do the youngest generation stand on AI, and it talks about how they're concerned with critical thinking. And it can like I love that they are concerned with that because how long have we been as educators trying to get students to think critically, to not wait for us to tell them what to think, instead to let them come to their own conclusions. So I personally love that they're doubting it because
Mhm.
that tells me that they are finally understanding how important it is that they have a critical thinking skill. Creativity, again, giving students choice and opportunity to say, here, create a project. Here are the list of all of the things that you need to have in your project, but you're able to do it however you want. And I've had students over the years just groan, just tell me what to do, or can I just do this, or can I, and they wanted this very simplified version so that it wasn't so taxing. And now they're like, oh, well, if AI can do it, then what good is it? And it's awesome to me that now they have an opponent. They have something that they can battle against to say like, I know I made this. I don't care if it's trashy. I made it. Right. And
Mhm.
that's what's important. It's not about perfection. It's not about just getting it done. All of
Mhm.
those little check boxes that they used to have, I feel like
Right.
anecdotal, again, it's just my own personal experience, is sort of moving away. And I think that creates a great opportunity for us as educators to move in and to say, hey, you have awesome skills and you're going to learn even more here in my classroom, but
Right.
there is going to be a tool for every single thing in your
It's
future.
like the pencil and
Right.
the
So now
keyboard.
what are you going to do?
Look. Yeah.
Which tool will you use to aid you? Which tool do you think is going to impede on your abilities? Know
Your
it,
choice.
understand it.
Yeah, and it's their choice. Again, it's giving them power, their own agency in the classroom to say, and again, we often hold the toolbox.
Hmm.
This is the tool we're going to use for this. Here are the websites we're going to use for this.
Yep.
This is what we're going to do. And so again, now they're pigeonholed in, they're not able to like, and again, I think too, if you look back into a traditional classroom, what percentage of your learners are critical thinkers? How do you develop that critical thinking? That is something that's probably a topic we really do need to talk about because
Mhm.
that's the basis of where we're saying AI can be powerful is if our learners are critical thinkers. But I can think back and I can think right now, like there's a small portion that are critical thinkers when they walk in. There's a broader portion, if you do it, work hard with them, that leave that way. But do they all? Because it takes a long time to become a critical thinker. And then what happens in society when we don't have critical thinkers and we just follow blindly whatever pops up
Right.
into whatever screen or audio? And then we're like, what? And well, then we're not critically thinking. So it is
Right.
our responsibility as educators to teach those critical thinking skills because that's what the learners are kind of like, help us like this is not okay, but we don't understand
Right.
we have the language. We don't know why. We need to teach them that language. We need to help them with that why, and how to do the critical thinking because that's not
Yeah.
easy either.
Exactly. No, and I think that that's always been our job is to help them think critically. It's just become very muddy in the last few years because of AI and the prevalence of, misuse or misunderstanding of how to use it. I don't think a lot of my students over the years have been, nefarious about their intentions about using AI. It has always been very much, well, if it can do it, why wouldn't I have it do it? And so it's like, yeah, okay, let's get beyond that question now.
Right.
Let's think about it, its fairness. Let's think about its impact. Let's think about, your future careers. What sort of jobs are going to be affected by it? Does that matter to you? What is an important career field that you think should not be affected by AI? Is there one?
Mm-hmm.
Does
Mm-hmm.
that exist? Let's discuss that.
Well,
You know what I mean? That's where I
what
want to go
skills
with
am I
that.
going to need as a young employee coming out? Apparently, we don't have them. What the skills we're really needing because AI seems to be taking the menial, beginning whatever kind of thing. This
Yeah.
is a study that I read that was so interesting. that said that when we hear all the that all the AI is taking all these jobs, and in one, again, we have to just really pull that apart. Did they
Hmm.
hire too many employees up front, and now they're just this is they can blame AI to get rid of a lot of overhiring, right?
Sure,
And they're,
sure.
their
Possible. Hmm.
stakeholders or whatever. But also that remote workers, this was interesting. Remote workers need more, if they're young and they're fresh, they need more supervision. It
Hmm.
costs more to do the supervision remotely. So they're trying to hire people that have experience because they don't need as much supervision remotely.
Hmm.
Again, an opportunity to critically think about it and not just be told all jobs are going away because of X.
Right. Yeah, Goldman Sachs, I think, in via Forbes, whatever, had produced some results of a poll indicating that entry-level position or entry-level workers have been the most affected by AI introduction, and that like maybe some 16,000 net jobs each month are either erased or somehow altered because of AI. But as you just pointed out, it's such a broad umbrella of a term to just be like because of. And it's like, in what way and how are we really dissecting that so that we can help our students navigate future careers and understand what are the nuances of that particular poll? What really are we asking businesses when they're reporting, which jobs or how people have been laid off or whatever it might be, if they're fired or let go. But I think we we don't have to worry about having the answers to that. I think we just need to be able to ask the question. When adults say that AI will create new jobs or destroy existing jobs, do you believe it?
Yeah. It goes right
Why?
back to
Why do
what
you
you
believe it?
said.
Why do you not believe it?
Inquiry. The very
Hmm.
first thing you said, it's you want to develop more inquiry. You ask that kind of question, and young people just like, wait a second, that yeah, that makes like once you
Right.
get inquiry going, they start asking questions. That's what we want because
Right.
that gives
Yeah.
them
What career
opportunity.
do you think is safe?
Mm-hmm.
And is safety a concern for you? Do you
Mm-hmm.
want a safe career? We used to ask students that all the time about, and I speak to juniors who are navigating those choices of college versus career and thinking, what's safer? And for the longest time, and we still do, but the longest time we've had the conversation about what can you afford?
Mm-hmm.
And they're thinking so much in like right now, I can't afford that education. I can't afford that. And all I say is, what about the future you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is the future you? And what is it that they need to be successful
Mhm.
now? Right?
Yeah.
So it's the same conversation, just flipping the switch of, is this an economic concern or is this an intellectual concern? Is this one where you have to ask yourself, do I have what it takes to truly understand technology's advancements and then my role in either participating, opposing,
Right.
or promoting? What is it going to be for you? And I think that that's really something for us as educators to look forward to is navigating those really tough conversations, but to not have an answer because we don't know.
And educators like to think they have to have the answer because
I
that's
know.
how it's bred into us somehow, so we need to stop doing that. So that's what we tried to do today is
Mhm.
talk more about questions, questioning the system, questioning all of it, and how important that inquiry is for our learners. That's all there is to it. And we'll continue this conversation because I do think the more we can maybe help guide educators to see what is that process to get them to think, to get them to let ourselves go and not have all the answers. So we'll address some of those the next time. All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.